It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, I'm so excited to be back with you guys, finally, without the sunglasses on. And as you can see, I did my best and I just want to get back to normal. I don't want to have sunglasses on that you can see the ring light in. It's just a nuisance. So thank you for bearing with my slightly black eye, but not fully black eye at this point, and helping me get back to norm. In the meantime, guys, you know what today means. We're back to cover the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the season finale that made me cringe like a mother. I'll save that for the podcast. And then on top of that, we have some Salt Lake City to cover. Also, guys, I wanted to say before we jump in and bring Jason up, a huge thank you to all of you, because our podcast is still in the top 50, the top 30. We have almost 400 reviews, and we have episode 3 dropping tomorrow. That's absolutely incredible, and we can't do it without you. So we're dropping a teaser clip after this talking about our experience with Vanderpump Rules. It's kind of like an exclusive little video teaser that will be dropping on Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube right after, and that link is pinned in the live chat. With that, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and you guys can obviously tell that I've had 5 shots of espresso. Let's welcome Jason.
Well,
Hi.
You've had 5 shots of espresso, and I've had like 3 coffees.
I mean,
just to I'm amped today. I was super excited.
In the room.
200 people already?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Listen, I'm just happy that this is over. When you said it was the finale last night, and there was the little finale on the corner of the TV over Bravo, I'm like, this shit is over finally.
Be
but
careful what you wish for, though, because like,
we
what
have
if
a reunion?
What if it's over and then we're not necessarily loving like Salt Lake City or Potomac? But our Potomac women always deliver. So
no, Potomac delivers. Potomac delivers all the time.
Yeah,
at least in season 3.
I agree. Okay. All right, so guys, we're gonna start off with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, because we know that's exactly what you are watching for, and we had such an interesting finale. Good morning, Norma. So
good morning.
If you guys had to rate this episode, this finale, 1 to 10, the reaching, the shooketh-ness, the teams, the breaking up of the Fox Faux 5, what would you give it? 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Jason, I'm going to start with you.
I'm going to say this was a pretty solid finale. I love the fact that Garcelle is consistently the realest person on this show, and the one who's about to speak up and even tell Renna, why does this matter to you so much? If Kathy has apologized and Kyle wants to accept the apology, why does this matter? I don't understand. And I'll get into that in a minute, but I'm going to have to give it a solid 10. And I'm so ready for the reunion because a lot is going to come out.
I agree. And for those of you guys who don't know, but I mean, Andy Cohen said it in a tweet last night. So we are getting the reunion trailer today. It always happens when we're live. So just be on the lookout. And if you guys catch it and it does come out, just let us know. And then we can't play it on here. But Norma said, Up and Adam and Jason, I have a question. Will we get an October surprise? And Renna brings receipts to prove that she has a reason to be shook.
You are literally reading my mind with the October surprise, because I was comparing Lisa Renna tonight. Can you imagine Lisa Renna runs for president of the United States and she loses, and then she goes out and says the election was stolen, and I don't know what happened. Now I have PTSD. I don't have receipts, but it was stolen and I'm the victim. No, girl, we don't have any proof of what actually happened with Kathy Hilton. I haven't seen anything surface about slurs, homophobic or racist. I haven't seen anything surface about this temper tantrum that happened. Yes, did she have a moment? I'm sure. Is this moment being used as a storyline? It's surprising to me that 2 housewives that hold diamonds are using a friend of the show to stay relevant with their storylines.
I think this is a bitter situation, honestly. But, for me, when Garcelle said, are we on Days of Our Lives again? Because she's like, I've got to tell you something. Did you see it, Garcelle? Were you in the house, Crystal? Were you in the house, Sutton? No, you weren't. I can't hold this in. If I hold this in, it'll give me cancer.
You just proved that no one saw what happened. You
What?
just proved that. And we are supposed to believe you based on, hold on, all of your past circumstances that you've had with other ladies. We talked about this on our podcast, episode 2 with Ryan Bailey. We dissected this situation. We dissected season 12 and thought up a dream cast. But Ryan said it the best. Is Lisa Renna a reliable narrator? Is she a storyteller you are going to believe and someone you trust? And honestly, the answer to me is no. And I know that, I always get this like, well, Jason, you're biased. You like Kathy Hilton. I don't like anyone. I'm just watching what's happening on the show. Okay. I really don't care for any of them, really. But I'm watching what's happening on the show. And it's just hearsay, and this is so crazy that this has been such a rumor and such a drive of this season and been playing online and off the show for months. Like, what happened to Patrick Summers at this point?
Listen, we have Hot Mike in the room. He's deemed or dubbed or whatever you call it. He's named Hot Mike by the Addams family. Held to the no, Lisa Renna is not a reliable source. Now, I just want to say this too. I have had multiple housewives reach out to me in the past, right? And when they do, they try to give me information that is in favor of them, that is not in favor of a co-star that they're working with. And I can't count it on 2 hands, guys. I swear to you, I get leaked shit all the time. And it always benefits that person who's leaking it to me. And they ask, can you put this out? Will you put this out there? Will you drop this? Can you help sway the audience? So I know for a fact when Erica and Lisa Renna are sitting here and Erica's like, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I'm like, girl, you are not dumb. Just like when you said that you don't know how to go to a bank
how to
and use a
spend
credit
victims'
card.
money. I mean, like, come on, you're
don't know how
smarter
to use
than
a
this.
debit card. This makes me no sunglasses. Yay, looking good. Oh, thank you. I still have, but so it's but that. I don't know if you guys noticed the prop that's in the background today, though. By the way, so I have if I'm getting sick right before BravoCon, I will freak the out. We're going to BravoCon next week, guys. So we have a lot of content to bring to you because we're going to be running around with Emily D. Baker. And I think it's going to be so much fun. I just hope that we collect the content. I hope that Emily's not like, head to the bar. We're like, no content is being here. But Emily's really good about being professional. So she's the one I'm going to stick with.
I can't imagine BravoCon without, something to drink. I mean, the Shotsky is now like the biggest thing on Watch What Happens Live, the most interesting thing on Watch What Happens Live usually. But I can't, I can't imagine not holding a drink in my hand at BravoCon.
Yes. Norma Maldonado said Casa del Sol tequila.
No way. How did that get there? That's so crazy.
I don't know. Well, I can say that I don't leak information to Kathy Hilton, so I didn't get this personally. I actually got it from Marae and her husband, Matt, which was very sweet because they just came in town.
I can't find my 818 tequila. I had that. I was going to put that behind me today.
You're such a bitch.
I have a window. I have a window.
No.
Well, my friend Kendall Jenner told me to try it. If I was friends with her, I probably already would have tried it.
Right. And Kris Jenner is clearly showing her support without showing her support by just putting hearts all over Kathy Hilton's reunion look. But Susan D said, did anyone hop on Garcelle's live? No, but we would love to hear what you have to say about that. Yay, glad you guys are going with Emily too. Of course, we love Emily.
So fun.
Emily D. Baker is WAP. I don't know what that means, but okay. Adam, is Zach a Renna stan? As in, does Renna leak stuff? I have no idea.
No, but I have to say, and Janelle just asked too, Up and Adam, why were you not, can you hear me?
Wait, I'm looking for Janelle asked what?
She asked, why were you not featured on last night's episode? Listen, guys, it was fantastic to see 2 familiar faces. It's nice to see people actually talk. No, listen, it's nice to see people actually talk about this instead of just like blog headlines from like really unreliable blogs. We had, where did you go? Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I wanted to like my nose.
Don't get sick now.
It's allergies.
But I mean, big congrats to Zach and Empire. I mean, they have built extremely big platforms. But if you want to explain why, you're more than welcome.
I do want to explain why, only because, and I think that this is so absurd to explain why, but I want to explain why because I received so many messages last night. Listen, guys, Zach and I went on Spilling Tea Live LA tour. You guys saw Kempire literally on our channel for weeks and weeks and days and months at a time. There is no, like, nothing but love. One of the things that I love about, and I'm going to kind of go around the room a little bit, Emily D. Baker, is the conversations that we have. It's like, this is not a competition. If you're on YouTube or you're starting a podcast, I encourage everyone has a voice, to go use it and share your opinions. That's what makes all of us different. And it's almost like winning the Super Bowl when you get featured on shows like these, when you're talking about those shows. So
it's exposure beyond belief, right? Because people know, you know, who watch Housewives and who get on, they already know YouTube because they want to know like some inside information or continue to talk about it like a book club. So it's great exposure to people who are not, you know, they don't know certain platforms. It's awesome.
And it is. It's like kind of going to the Super Bowl. But I had a lot of people who were messaging me and they were really pissed. And they're like, you know, I don't want, like, they were sending me nasty messages about other content creators, which I'm saying, like, I just want to kind of address this really quick. I don't co-sign. So to answer everyone's question, why was I not on there? It was because I chose not to be on there. I was reached out to by someone, and it was one of the producers of the show, and they sent me a YouTube clip of when all of this Aspen stuff first came out. It was when I was saying in the clip, and I'll just be completely transparent with you guys because this is our community, and I love normally I would share this for members only, but I want to address this to kind of put it behind us. In the clip, it was when the Aspen stuff first came out, and I said, you know, Lisa Rinna's a lot of things, but I don't know if she lies. I feel like she holds people accountable. And then over the season and seeing her reactions and her actions and seeing how much I've shifted in my ideology, I guess, or my beliefs of how much she's telling the truth and how much she's using this to her advantage to take out, well, one of the most favorable cast members, but also to push herself up there and to protect Erica, my mindset sort of shifted. So when production sent me the video and they sent me the clip, I asked them, can you use a different clip that's not in favor of that? They said, this is the clip that we're choosing to use. So what they do is they send you over a DocuSign. And when you sign the DocuSign, you sign over the right for them to use the clip, your voice, that video, and you sign over all rights for them to have whatever opinions that they want. So I actually did just sign one for Vanderpump Rules. So you're going to see some of our videos featured on Vanderpump Rules. I don't want to give you guys, you know, like the story of what it's about, but I brought this up because I saw at least, I'm going to say 37 messages from subscribers. The Addams family like comes in full effect. You can see, to use your vlog on the show. Thanks, Adam. I got the clearance agreement back and signed. This is before I realized what video it was. I sent one more DocuSign to you. It has the appearance release, so we can show and hear your voice in the YouTube clip. I forgot to send all at once. Congrats on your success. You are killing it. I found you when Mary Cosby's parents interview blew up all over social media. Right?
Always Mary Cosby's parents interview.
Right.
Always Mary Cosby.
So we ended up saying no to that because, and I think this is also interesting too, because our new episode of Hot Messy Podcast drops tomorrow, and we're talking to Evan Reel from Page 6. We were offered second interviews to potentially join the cast of Vanderpump Rules, and Jason and I had a conversation as a couple about how much we want to share, how much we want to put ourselves out there, and if it's conducive to a healthy relationship. We've been together for almost a decade. Would that serve us well? Or do we want to kind of take our own route, right?
I mean, did it serve Katie and Tom well? No.
Right. And I don't want to sit there and say like it wasn't enticing. It was enticing, but we ultimately said no to a second interview. But then I got this. Adam, I'm so-and-so and work on Vanderpump Rules. In our first episodes of season 10, we were going to talk about and I don't want to put that up there. We were going to put up headlines like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills does when talking about Erica Tom stuff. But we were going to try and see if we could tell the story through the news clips and vlogs. I thought to clear your vlog for the show because you have been so great to us over the years at Sir and Tom Tom. This is the video, and then they send you the video, and you get to decide if that's you can click on it. Do you want to co-sign that video being all over? And when I saw that in the video that they gave to me, I was sort of supporting Lisa Rinna. I was like, fuck, no, I'm
No,
not doing
we
that.
can't co-sign on that.
I'm not co-signing
It's
that.
crazy though. And guys, don't like bag on Zach for supporting Lisa. And
Oh my
he
God,
brings up
no.
some great opinions. Sometimes Zach can almost sway me, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me.
No, and honestly, Norma said, sadly, Zach has been getting hell on Twitter for a soundbite. Meanwhile, no one has
No,
went out
come
for
on.
Kim. No,
Well,
nobody should get shit.
watch. You have to watch the whole. You know that this is a piece of a clip of a whole video. You have to watch the whole thing, guys.
Right.
We know this from editing and what they do on the show. So
That's
don't
why I
like
was
bag
trying
on
to be very
anyone.
careful. And,
Yeah,
even to like what they did was with Zach, he says something about Kathy Hilton being crazy, but that's the most like salacious part of the soundbite. So they're going to put that in. And when
Yeah.
you DocuSign, you sign that right. You don't tell them what they're using. They tell you what they're
Lots.
using. So when when they sent me the video for Vanderpump Rules, Jason and I sat there and watched the entire 11-minute video, and we're like, okay,
The
there's
entire.
nothing bad here.
I mean, yeah, we watched like I watched it like 15 times because
Yeah.
before we sign something or give something away
You
that can
can't.
be used how other people want it to be perceived, you have to be so careful. And so that's why it's. But the Vanderpump Rules clip is great.
That's
So
great, but
I'm
I think
excited.
that, I honestly,
Season
I wanted
10.
to just, it's not even a big deal. We're not even back to, like, we're not here to talk about that, but I did want you guys to understand, because I did receive a lot of messages where people were spreading hate towards them, Kempire and Zach, and that's not what we want. Like, Kempire has an incredible YouTube channel. He does amazing work. He works his ass off. Zach has an incredible podcast, works his ass off, and everybody just, we're not all going to have the same opinions. And that's the beauty of having the platforms, because we resonate with different audiences, and that's okay. It's not deep enough to be like,
But can I
get pissed
just
off at each
say
other.
what is cause for celebration though is just a year ago, where was everyone? And now, instead of seeing, like I said, little clips from blogs that, or not clips, but little headlines from blogs that aren't really true, are not popping up anymore. It's nice to see some familiar faces that people listen to and trust, and through platforms that have been built on that. So I think,
Right. And
we
it's,
need to celebrate it.
And everyone has loyal community. I think that, listen, you can't, if you navigate life by just being so negative, and you see when people, get cheered on and rooted for their hard work, and you're like trying to tear them down, you're going to have a shitty life. You're going to live in a negative space. And that's not, like, right now, I wouldn't want, because, I'm thinking about our podcast, again, a little plug, because we're dropping the new episode tomorrow and a clip right after this. But I'm thinking about the podcast, and I'm like, I would hate if I had people who were just like rooting for our failure. And it's inevitable, you'll have that. But the people who, like,
people love
I've
that.
worked with, and the people that I've shared screen time with, and I've done amazing things like my first live shows with, I would never want those people to try to tear me down. Vice versa. It's like, it takes nothing. It's free to just show a little support and just root people on. But with that, guys, we're not back again to talk about all of this.
Literally, I want to
get
talk
back to
about
it.
this because Twitter was blowing up last night, and I love this.
Oh my God.
If someone wants to be a Kardashian here, you have mentioned Kendall Jenner, and you are wearing, a copy of. It's just very funny. I mean, like, look, it's so funny because right here you have Kim Kardashian, who looks phenomenal in this, and then you see Lisa Renna, who looks like she's had too much 818, and she's just kind of like, I'm here.
No, she was secretly drinking the Casa del Sol, because at this point she might have found out that it was really Eva Longoria's, and Kathy and Nikki were investors. But I do want to ask you guys, we had the Birkin party, and I love that Garcelle got her first Birkin, because this woman works her ass off. MVP of the season.
MVP,
if I had to give,
hands down.
Yeah. If I had to give 2 MVP awards away for the season, I know, again, that the people are saying Lisa Renna and Erica are carrying the season. I've seen it a couple times on Twitter, and I also see where people are calling for them to get fired. And I'm looking at it, and I'm playing the devil's advocate like I always love to do. And I'm like, well, hold on. It resonates with me what Margaret Joseph said on our stage for Spilling Tea Live New York. Lisa Renna understands the assignment. She knows that she has a job to do. She comes in as an ensemble cast member and knows that she has to put on a show, which is exactly why she said, I have to talk about it or else I'll get canceled. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever said.
Yeah, come on, girl. Listen, I know it's a show. Lisa Renna is an entertainer. Whether you like her or not, she really is an entertainer. They are giving us something to talk about. I mean, everyone's talking about this whole situation that may or may not have happened,
Right.
So I got to give them props for that. But some of the stuff that comes out of Lisa's mouth, it makes me think of, past things like we brought this up that have happened on the show before and issues she's had with people on the show before. It's just maybe we need a pause on Lisa for a minute, like a Dorinda pause, no?
Oh, I mean,
Or do you think like this should play out next season and there should be a cast shakeup a little bit?
I think that I don't know if I want to pause or not. Like, that's the thing is I don't have to agree with her. I think that it's like what Kelly Dodd said to us in our interview. Guys, by the way, almost 900 in the room. Smash that like button. 21 a minute.
Hell yeah, guys.
I don't think, like, when I was talking to Kelly, when we were talking to Kelly, Kelly said Andy Cohen told her that she made a great housewife, but she was an absolute disaster on social media. And she said that looking back in hindsight, she wishes that she should have hired somebody to handle her social media. I think that we need a cast shakeup because, and I agree with Mike, because I feel like we have the Fox Faux 4 and then we have the other ladies to the side. But now, after watching last night's episode and seeing Kyle Richards' post on Instagram in support of Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal, no Lisa Renna, no Erica, and seeing how she kind of saw in her mind, okay, you two are like dogs with a bone, which I got what Kyle was saying. She's like, the only two people who really give a shit about Kathy's meltdown that was essentially mostly about me are you two. But really, there were all of these other people who were at the Caribou Club and they didn't give a shit. And then I love when Garcelle's looking at Lisa Renna when Renna was like, it was bad. And I had to lock myself in the room. And yes, it was that bad. And I'm like, girl, I would lock myself in the room if I lived at home.
I'd lock
with Harry
myself
Hamlin.
in a room if I had a room to run to, if I was Kim Richards when you smashed the glass over the damn table. No one could hide in a room then. Like, what are we talking about? It's so crazy to me.
It just doesn't make any sense. This makes no sense to me. And, as we're navigating the episode, I love, because I have been so hard on Kyle Richards because I was really upset about this. Kathy Hilton, you have LaToya Jackson coming out in defense of her. You have the morally corrupt Faye Resnick, as they call her. You have Kris Jenner. You have a lot of these huge names who are coming out saying, I have known this woman for 20, 30, 40 years. And I have never seen a temper tantrum. I've never seen this so-called dark side. And I think what honestly happened, if we're going to break it down, because nobody actually knows. By the way, Patrick, the butler, was so funny. I saw a comment, not to get off, but somebody messaged earlier on one of the videos that I posted. And they were like, Adam, as a part of the gay community, you not supporting Patrick Sommers is disgusting. And you need to remember where you came from and who got you started. And I am
gross. Why would we support him?
And I was like, well, don't let the door hit you with their good Lord split.
Yeah, no. But Patrick, the butler, was amazing this season. He had almost more camera time than Cherie Zampino did.
No,
so maybe we should bring on Patrick the butler as a friend. I actually like Cherie when we get to like talk to her, but we haven't gotten a lot of chance to kind of introduce her at all.
That's not her fault. It's like we need to give her. I think everyone deserves 2 seasons. Larger Curve said LaToya Jackson even posted about it. Never seen Kathy have a meltdown and known her since grade school. I think what happened in this meltdown was this played out all day. We watched it in Aspen from the Kimosabi hat store to all of a sudden we're going out to dinner to the Caribou Club. And you see where Kathy is constantly being ignored, pushed to the side. And she might not even know, like if you saw her in her first season, she said, I've never been on a girls' trip. I go on trips with my family, my husband, my kids. Not really ever been on a girls' trip. I think for her, this is all so foreign. And I'm not trying to just make excuses, but I'm trying to understand the situation. And I think that, like, if you put me in a group of people, I'm so socially awkward. Jason can, attest to this. I can't blend in and I don't get along with everyone because I don't know how to, like, I'm not like an ass kisser. Like, oh my God, you look amazing. Hi, how are you? I'm just like, if I don't really care, I don't have time, which is really shitty, but that's why I remove myself from social situations. And I think Kathy Hilton is sort of similar in that sense, because what I feel like happened was she was ignored at the Kimosabi place and then at the Caribou Club. And then after mixing a couple drinks, she had enough. And I think in her mind, she was like, do you know who the guy I am? I am Kathy Hilton. Kathy Casa del Sol Hilton. Okay. And I have my daughters, Paris and Nikki Hilton, and my sons, Adam, Barron, and Conrad Hilton. Okay. That's me and Barron and Conrad, my two brothers. And I think what she was probably going on this rant, like, these women think that they're so important when really it's not that big of a deal. You're on a reality show, which if you guys go back to the moment when they were doing the Ouija board in Aspen, Kathy literally said to them when they were talking about unfollowing each other on Instagram, none of you guys are that important. So if you kind of fact check and really go across the board and piece things together, because editing does play a role, it makes sense. Am I crazy?
No, that does make sense.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
does
thank
make
you.
sense.
100 or 1028 in the room. Hey guys.
Can we talk about something completely different? It is
God.
so surprising to me how fast Maurizio can put himself together. At the
What?
beginning of every party, Maurizio looks like, I don't know, like he just rolled up from the gutter and he's always like drinking. He's like, hey, yeah.
Oh, he starts
and then
out
5 minutes later,
he
this
starts out
guy's
like this,
dressed.
and he looks like this after.
Right.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, he looks like so put together. He's so in it. I give props to Maurizio. You can put it together fast, a lot faster than I could.
I think listen, I love Maurizio on the show. I don't have, somebody asked me, because I did the ask me a question thing on Instagram yesterday, and it was that song.
I hate those. Yeah.
I hate picking music because I don't listen to music. So I always have like the silliest shit. But I need to stop. I'm talking like I'm on the podcast. I'm getting used to being unfiltered on the podcast, and I'm starting to bring it to YouTube, and I need to separate the two. I'm noticing that. Are you? No.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Not
Okay.
gonna lie.
So getting back to it, someone asked me on Instagram, because I did a Q&A, and they said, if you could remove anyone, who would you remove? And I know it's so funny because people sit there and they ask, like, or they accuse me of being so biased and saying like, Adam, you're doing a smear campaign on Lisa Renna and Erica. I really, in my mind, I don't think I want Lisa Renna and Erica to go. If anybody could afford to really be removed from the cast, I think it would be Dorit. Because
and Diana. Let's just take the D's out. Dorit and Diana.
Dorit and Diana, because Renna, I want to see Renna meet her match. And for Erica, I want to see Erica. I just want to see if she can show
I want to
us more
see the
growth.
dynamics shift.
Yeah.
Now we see Kyle. Like, I was complaining about this last episode and throughout the season. We never see Kyle stand up for your sister, either one. We don't see her do that. And then this episode, something clicked where she's like, you know what? I found out some information and I've been apologized to. And the only two people who keep carrying this on are you two. So this is what I have. And I'm like, wow. And I've always said, and people never agree with me, and I'm sorry, and I don't care. But like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is, you have to have Kyle Richards.
Yes.
Like her or not. She's just like that stability piece we have right now.
And she's a nostalgic like throwback when you do like the pan over to the scenes of like the most iconic Beverly Hills moments.
But the dynamic shift, if we brought someone in and we see Kyle move away from the faux force and go onto her own, or maybe with her sister or something like that, we bring in someone else. I mean, it looks like from all these leaking stories, accusations that we're getting with Lisa and Erica and stuff like that, Lisa Vanderpump might not be a bad choice to bring back.
Well,
would she? No, but
Andy Cohen just recently said on Radio Andy that he spoke with a former housewife of Beverly Hills, and they had a long discussion about them making a return. Now, I don't know, everyone's speculating because they were asking Camille Grammer, and she said it wasn't me. So people are speculating that it could be Denise Richards, Kim Richards, Brandi Glanville, or LVP. Reality with Krista Marie. By the way, guys, 1,100 in the room. Smash that like button and make sure you click on the link pinned at the top of the live chat. Go to Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube, because what time does that clip drop, Jason?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think.
Krista Marie. I miss Krista. She said, can we talk about Erica Girardi being more famous than Kathy Hilton? That, to me, was the cherry on top of the cake. That
Oh
was
my God.
everything
Just
for me.
comparing the situations. It was like, you've been going at me for a year and a half. And I'm like, it's a whole different situation, girl. You're talking about $500 million from victims who had their money stolen. This is very different than someone having a temper tantrum that no one saw. There's no comparison.
And
Zero. Not a
we're talking,
zilch.
if you go through the history of the cast, right? The current cast that's on, Garcelle, even last night, if you watch the finale, Lisa Rinna, and she knows what she's doing. She's like, why are you so angry? Or what did she say? Why are you seem like you're very like upset about this. And I'm just
Oh,
trying to
no.
understand why, Garcelle.
Yeah, she gets so defensive when Garcelle brings up that Kathy has already apologized. Like, what else is there to talk about? If Kyle wants to accept it, why can't you let her accept it? She's like, oh, you get so there's like a tone. I sense some attitude coming from you. I'm like,
Yes,
there
that's
was
what it
no
was.
attitude in the tone. Stop looking.
But
Stop looking,
Garcelle,
818.
they always do that. Especially Renna always does that to Garcelle to get her to show some sort of like upset side of her. And Garcelle sits there and smirks and knows exactly what she's doing and handles it. And I love
Garcelle
like,
never gives her the
oh my
point.
gosh.
Never gives her the moment that Lisa is trying to, yes, aggressive was the word. Garcelle never gives that to Lisa ever. And this is something that you can see Lisa provoke over and over again. It's just like, you're not going to win with this. Garcelle is too smart.
Moon Radiate said, yes, she tried to bait Garcelle. Totally tried to bait Garcelle. And Garcelle did not take the bait, which I loved. But then you see, shit, where was my mind going with this? What were we talking about before this?
We were talking about how Renna snapped at Garcelle and questioned her tone of voice and having an attitude.
Yeah, I don't know. So there was no reunion preview, right? No, not on Watch What. No, so it's coming out today, guys. It honestly might come out anytime right now. But what I was going to say is they tried to get a reaction. Oh, that's where I was going. Thank you. We're all over the board right now. If we're talking about these moments that were so hard that they could give us cancer, we look at Garcelle, never seen a moment from her. You saw Dorit call her a bully, and she said, "You with that," right? And she said,
very real response.
A very real response, but that's still, it's not aggressive. You're sitting here trying to label her as a bully when she wasn't bullying. It was a misunderstanding that eventually came out through production, and we realized that it was a total misunderstanding. You have Crystal Kung Minkoff, who has never actually had a meltdown. If anything, if she's upset, it's talking about her eating disorder.
She had a meltdown when Sutton came in her room.
But we didn't see that. She was upset. She was crying. And that was
we didn't see it. Okay.
It wasn't aggressive, right? Then we see Sutton, and we saw Sutton twice sort of get like a little nasty with Diana. And that was a little cringy. And then Kyle Richards grabbing Sutton by the arm, but she even said she had too much to drink that night and she shouldn't have been having that conversation. And then you see Cherise and Pino. We didn't really get anything from her aggressive. Diana Jenkins, the most she said was, oh, well, because you are. See you next Tuesday. And it was like,
I mean, listen, I'm going to remember Asher's outfits more than I am Diana Jenkins after this season. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then you see all of a sudden, if we're talking about Lisa and Erica, we have the slamming of the glass. We have the, if you ever come for me again and call me a liar, I'll come for you. Or if you ever call me a liar again, whatever.
Or what?
What? And then you have on top of that, telling a 14-year-old, go off.
I only care about myself.
I only care about myself.
Going on and on and on. Yeah.
But then we have Renna too, and she's like screaming across the homeless, not toothless, toothless, not homeless thing. And she's like, ah! And then at the Renna wine issue situation. And
my God, there's so many little checks here to tick for Lisa Renna. That's so funny that she is so shocked with Garcelle's tone and attitude that she thinks she has. And
what was funny about this too, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this. Thank you, Peggy Brown. Love Garcelle. And thank you, T. Thank you guys for the support. Love you guys. Larger Curves made a point. This entire situation is orchestrated by Erica. The talk between Erica Jane and Diana Jenkins basically plotted to bring up another castmate's mess to get the magnifying glass off of Erica Jane. Erica Jane and Dorito talked it out too. I think what happened here was, I do honestly believe when things started to get leaked to the press, if you guys have ever watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and this is why I watch it, when things are about to come out about the Kardashians, major publications come out and they contact Kris, they contact Kim and their teams, because when something big is coming out about the Kardashians, Kris and Kim have cultivated these relationships with these major publications, and they will give them, through loyalty, they will give them the scoop and the exclusive first. So you don't really want to burn that hand that's giving that to you, right? Now let's pan over to the Hiltons. Paris Hilton, always always in a headline or something, right? The Hilton family makes major headlines. Nikki Rothschild, major headlines. And it's not the same as like Real Housewives, like, kind of like reality TV drama, but it's still pop culture news. So if someone was trying to leak information to a major media outlet, Radar Online, Page Six, whatever the case is, and they have to decipher which relationship is more important. Do we put out this negative story about Kathy Hilton that we can't necessarily verify because we don't have the audio clip and we're going based off of what one housewife says through her camp and it seems a little biased? Well, I'm not even going to go into that. Check out our episode on the podcast tomorrow because Evan Real from Page Six breaks all of this down and lets us know exactly how they deal with leaks. That's my point.
That's you took very long, but thank you. That was very good. That was a great point.
That was a good plug.
That was a great plug. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Your hair looks great today.
You know what I'm surprised about? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How Erica can afford a publicist at this point.
Don't they just take 10%? Or do you pay them?
Of what? Oh, I just sounded like her. Oh God. Of what?
Oh no.
What did they take 10% of?
Yeah. Pretty Mess hair, Pretty Mess promotion.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if they'd want to take 10%.
I don't know. I don't know. But then when I like when Erica was saying, you think I share the same publicist as Nikki? That would obviously be bad for business. Well, yeah, but if you're linking it to your publicist and your publicist, I know this is the silly thing too. I know for a fact, based off of the social circles that we're in and the people that we know within NBC and also YouTubers, podcasters, bloggers, I know exactly who the leaks were when it came to the Lisa Renna, Erica leaking the Kathy Hilton stuff. I would never out someone. If they want to own up and take responsibility, they're more than welcome to take responsibility. It's not my story to tell, but I'm sure you guys can put two and two together. It's like, this wasn't Page Six or, like the publicist. And if it was the publicist, well, the publicist knows that someone like Page Six or Radar or OK or People Magazine or New York Times, Post, whatever, they need sources, they need reliable sources, and they have to vet those sources. But if you give it to a blogger, or if you give it to somebody like me, hi, Adam, Up and Adam on YouTube, if you give it to me, then I can go on and put out whatever I want, and I can just say, allegedly. Now, do the math. With that, Jason, is there anything else?
I mean, yeah, I was concerned about the diamonds around Dorit and Kyle's neck because you know how things go missing and when it's in their house and stuff.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know. I really just thought that whole cancer statement by Lisa Renna was so uncalled for. It's like, can you just be quiet? Let's see what else. Erica comparing herself to the Kathy situation. That was weird. No, I mean, I'm glad Kyle kind of had this big realization or this aha moment where she's like, you know what? Blood is thicker than water, or as Sutton likes to say, run slower than water, whatever. I don't know what she said.
Whatever she said.
She had some 8182. I'm glad that she's kind of pulling back from that set of ladies because I like Kyle and I want to see her on a different team. I don't want to see her flip-flop anymore. I don't want her I want to see Kyle kind of go all the way. It's something we don't see from Kyle. She flip-flops, she changes, she kind of stays in the safe zone. And I want to see her kind of jump out of that safe zone. Maybe at the reunion, maybe next season. But that was the biggest moment for me. I'm like, wow, that's what I've been asking for. You stood up for your sister. You stood up for your family, no matter if it was right or wrong. I mean, again, these accusations were things that Kathy said about Kyle, right? We haven't heard, and we've heard rumors of homophobic slurs. That didn't surface. We've heard rumors of racist slurs. That didn't surface. I'm just glad Kyle is seeing the light. She's seeing the light. So that's good. Yeah.
Haha, yes. How does she afford a publicist? I think she needs a PR crisis management, really.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Lawrence said that first, so I piggyback off that. Daniel Elliott said, can you guys imagine if Kim Richards had been at that party? That would have
Come
been...
on. TV gold. That's why I'm saying that maybe Andy Cohen is talking to Kim Richards about coming back and how they would kind of pave the path for that, you know? Be interesting.
I want to kind of segue a little bit here. Thank you so much, Daniel Elliott. I appreciate you. First of all, again, guys, since we have almost 1,200 people in the room, don't forget to smash that like button. Go to the link pinned in, Hot Messy Podcast. We want you guys to subscribe. By the end of the month, we want to hit 15,000 subscribers. And go to the link in the description. That way you can click on podcast, wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the new episode that drops tomorrow. Because we're covering...
It's awesome, guys. It's a lot of the topics we've just discussed today, especially about leaked information. We have Page Six, a senior reporter on TV, coming on our show to talk about how this works, and we kind of just have a good chat. Also, Evan Reel is going to be at BravoCon hosting the panel of the New Jersey husbands, which we also talk about. So definitely hit that up. We have a good bitch session that we end off with. And yes, I don't know if I have a lot of sympathy, but you can go to Hot Messy Podcast, kind of figure out what the bitch session is about, and you can go to the community tab and vote in the poll. In the meantime, go ahead. Erica has a sugar daddy. He has given her almost $1 million. What do you think she's giving him in return? Well, I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is we're hearing on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that there are favors in exchange for getting Vita Tequila out there. So thanks for the segue. How much do you believe that? I don't think I do, but I'm not sure. I'm going to let this play out. I believe it. It was so hard for me to transition last night from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills into Salt Lake City. I almost had no attention span for Salt Lake City, and it sucks because their first episode hit a high note for me. I was like, whoa, these girls are coming in hotter than hot. You know, we had this great party. And this one I was in and out of, but that's what you expect from Utah, peaks and valleys, you know? So, I mean, this episode was
clever.
It was fine. I mean, interesting. I mean, you can go ahead and start it off if you want.
Yeah, so this episode didn't do a whole lot for me, but I do love our Salt Lake City women. We have good relationships with all of them, really. Actually, everybody except Heather Gay. That's the only one who we really don't know.
But I mean, also, Adam, look, we have these 5 women who now we know so well after 3 seasons who literally can hold the screen by themselves. We had a whole episode with just them.
Right. But I think
no friends yet. Those are coming.
Well, we saw Angie Katza something.
Angie K.
We saw Angie K.
Dana.
Yes. I know we saw Angie K on the first episode, but guys, just to give you sort of like a brief update of what really went down, is we have Whitney Rose, and Whitney is really upset, and she's talking about how her brother talked to this therapist who does like points of physical something, and it triggers memories. So through that, she blocked out her memory as a child and forgot that she was abused. Now she's remembered that she's been abused, but she doesn't remember how she was abused, which I'm not necessarily buying this story. I think what happened was there's a form of this abuse and she doesn't want to touch on it because it's a little bit too personal. And I think that's kind
of the sense I got from it too.
Yeah.
You know, I think that maybe she needs to stay away from like the shamans and the spiritual people. Like, you excommunicated yourself from one church. Let's excommunicate from like spirituality for a minute, because it really does cause her to like not be in a healthy spot.
Yeah. Jessica Jamer, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe Mendoza, you're right. Meredith did clarify that she did not say sexual favors. The scene did not appear to look like Meredith implied it either. So wasn't sure how it got translated.
No, I'm not sure. It didn't. And what I'm thinking is like, you know, if you carry my tequila, I'm going to do something for your brand or your whatever. You know, it was definitely something that was more.
Yeah, like maybe I'll promote or
or on the show I'll have you as a caterer at Angie Harrington's party, or you know what I mean, something like that. I'm sure it was. I'm not sure she's like, hey, if you like carry my Vita Tequila, I'll get on my knees. I don't think it was like that.
Yeah. I agree. But you know, we're still seeing.
However, Lisa did insinuate that Meredith, you know, fucks everyone in New York. You know? I mean, she did. She did
I mean,
insinuate that.
she did insinuate that,
Lisa insinuated that Meredith has slept with half of New York.
which is not nice.
So, however that was taken,
And
I'm
Meredith had a good
sure
point yesterday
from
too.
the ladies or Whitney hearing that comment from Lisa, that's probably what Whitney thought Meredith was talking about.
Right. And Tess said only half, just to be fair. But it is true when, like Meredith said when she went down the line and she's like, she said something bad about all of us. And then, of course, Shady Production goes through with the editor or the editors, whatever. And it's like something about Whitney, something about Heather, something about Meredith, something about Jen. And it's like, oh, this does
And not
not
something
look
about
like
Mary
that.
this time. And
Yeah.
that sucks. Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, we get this girls trip and we see Jen talk with her mom. And her mom, she's like crying and she's upset. Obviously, every day is hard. And she's talking about how this is impacting her. And I understand everyone's going to rip apart Jen. But I just wanted to show where Jen was talking about in this conversation about how her husband, Coach Shaw, came to her and said that her son was in the room crying. I remember a time, and I don't want to get into detail, about my life where there was not somebody going to prison, but someone who was leaving for a while. And I remember just really feeling it and crying all the time and trying to keep strong and not showing anybody that I was crying. So when we went to the interview and we saw Jen a couple times and we saw her with her family, with Coach, with her sons, and we saw how she was with them, that in itself is where I was just, my heart broke. And my heart broke because I'm looking at her kids and it's like, they don't know shit about what's going on with this. They don't know. They're not going to the meetings and doing the mock trials. They're not sitting on the phone calls. They're not hearing what the counts against you are. They're sitting there and they're hearing their mom say, I'm innocent and I'm going to fight this. And they're in their minds probably blocking it out and holding on to all of that hope in order to get through the situation. So as a human being, as a person, when I see like the tweets go out and I see the nastiness spewed and stuff, I'm like, I just look at it like, this is somebody's mom. Like this is,
yes,
it's hard. It's hard to like,
yeah.
I
mean, yeah, it's unfortunate that like these consequences had just come up. I don't know. It's crazy, but I do feel, you have a heart, Adam, and I think part of the reason that Jen took the plea deal is, as she said, is because she wanted to save her family, in the sense that Coach Shaw would be okay, that her sons would be okay. One of them is in medical school now, and I get that. Right. I get that there's a lot of, we don't feel sorry for Jen because she pled guilty for, doing all this stealing from old people, technically, but at the same time, I do feel for the family. There's something to be said for, Coach Shaw or Sharif to stand by his wife's side no matter what, before and after the plea deal. So,
yeah, I mean, again, poor Omar crying. It's hard for those boys since,
it's hard for all of these kids.
It's hard
for all of these kids on Real Housewives whose mothers, if my mother was acting like anyone from any of these casts, well, no, Salt Lake has some.
Like, think about Gia Giudice too. She had to go through that. Think about the Giudice girls. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shitty situation. So we're going to see that continue to play out. We end up taking a cast trip. In this cast trip, Whitney, for the third time, is trying to get everyone to heal themselves. And she's like, the shaman suggested that we don't drink. And Heather's like, does she know who the we are?
I do have to say one thing about Salt Lake City, and I told you this earlier, Adam, is the ladies from Salt Lake City, they drink. They drink. Oh. So it's like, you're not going to tell them to not drink. They will find a way. They will drink. They're drinking. It's fun to watch. But they also can't hold their liquor very well because they always wind up in fights or crying. You know who can hold their liquor really well? What I noticed is Potomac. Those ladies can hold their liquor. Yeah. Remember the cast trip with Wendy last season?
Sorry, I wanted to say this really quick. So we have Hot Messy Topics coming back next week, and we pushed off our members only Let's Whine About It.
Maybe not, Adam.
Why? What's the next Monday?
Because we're out of town on Monday. So maybe Tuesday.
Okay, so then but we'll keep you guys posted in the community tab because we're going to do our members only and everything that week because we're doing 2 members only a month and we're not going to rob everybody of that.
No.
All right. This is a lot. There's a lot to go off of. We have the girls trip. We know that it's about to get messy next week. I think that there wasn't so much to talk about in this episode, but I mean,
it was hard for me to like stay consistently involved because I was just thinking about Beverly Hills. I'm like, oh my God, Beverly Hills. Oh my God, Beverly Hills. Lisa feels like she's going to get cancer from this secret that she has to hide. She already has PTSD. Like she's just, going through it,
Yeah.
and then I'm listening to Erica compare her situation to Lisa or to Kathy Hilton's situation. I'm just like, these women sound crazy.
Yeah.
They sound crazy to me. So it was hard to focus on Salt Lake City. But I do have to say they started off with a bang with episode 1. I know that you're going to be recapping Salt Lake City completely with someone else soon. So that will be awesome. But I'm really excited to get introduced to these friends that could potentially replace 1 or 2 housewives we might be losing.
Yeah. I mean,
so
we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised that the friends weren't promoted. Jen, interesting.
Susan.
Guilty versus no contest. I'm interested about the rift between Heather and Whitney. Still, maybe not talking. They ended up starting to talk again when they filmed Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. But before that, they were on a friendship break, which is like, spoiler alert. After next week's episode, no. Whitney goes around to the rest of the cast and she says that her and Heather are having this rift, and Heather doesn't even know that there's a rift until the end of the season, which becomes this whole big blow up shit show. So you're welcome. All right.
I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I do have to say, like, again, there are peaks and valleys, and last night I just couldn't really focus so much on the valley, but I can't wait till next week's, climb to the top. It should be fun.
I agree. And I also can't wait for the reunion next week. I'm so curious. Don't forget that the trailer is popping out today. Of course, I'll be doing a pre-record video on that to kind of keep you guys posted and give you my thoughts. In the meantime, right now in 6 minutes, should you just go ahead and drop it, Jason, while we're on here?
Sure.
Yeah, just go ahead and drop it. So in the meantime, guys, there's 980 in the room. Smash that like button. Don't forget.
Damn, guys. You guys are so supportive of this Beverly Hills recap.
No, I know.
You guys are awesome.
But we have a lot of other fun housewives coming out too. We have New Jersey. We have Vanderpump Rules eventually coming out. We have, that's not housewives, but we have Potomac. We still have Salt Lake City.
Potomac is this week. Like crazy.
Yeah, it's on Sunday. And then also, tell me when it's up and then I'll post it.
What's up, girl? What's up?
Oh, so you guys right now go to Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube. It's pinned in the live chat. That way you guys can go click on the Vanderpump Rules teaser clip. You might want to hear this. It's kind of fun. And then on top of that, what I'm trying to think else, we'll keep you guys posted about Hot Messy topics next week, and then also our Let's Whine About It, because that
we need a good Hot Messy topics. I feel like we need a good one where we can kind of vent, take some callers. I think we need like a good old fashioned Hot Messy topics.
Oh
we
yeah,
just
I
got to
think
figure out
it's time for a panel.
It's time for a panel.
It's time.
It definitely is. I think we should panel because Potomac would have just dropped. We have the reunion of Beverly Hills coming up. The 3rd episode of Salt Lake City, which is supposed to be explosive. Winter House starting next week or the week after?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We could just do a Bravo Hot Messy Topics, take callers, have a panel. I think that would be so much fun.
Yes, exactly.
It's time. It's time.
Yeah, so go check out the exclusive clip. And then tonight, I believe the new podcast episode drops usually at like 4 a.m. Eastern. Maybe it'll even drop at 12 a.m. tonight. I'm not sure. Jason's the one who drops it.
It drops at 3 a.m. ET. I don't know who's going to be waiting up at 3 a.m. to hear our podcast. I can promise you not most people. But yeah, it does drop at midnight Pacific time every Tuesday and Friday.
Yes. And Tea Talk with Shaw said, I'll be there. Drop that link. We will drop that link.
Thanks, Tea Talk with Shaw.
All right. So we're going to go, guys. Again, keep a lookout for the reunion trailer. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all the super chats, super stickers. We appreciate you. Thank you for everyone in the chat and also understanding about the glasses. We appreciate that. Thank you for letting me clear up a silly misunderstanding. And also just remember, we all support each other. We don't have to attack each other on Twitter or social media. It's not worth it.
No,
Housewives, it's not that big.
Thank you to all the mods,
yes,
all of our members,
all of the mods.
Everyone.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go work on the pod. So love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Everyone.